Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Shai, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Shai, Barakata Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Akakadash. Double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles of Great Stone and bishops. Alquat, try to focus on the earth, holding on in sincerity and in truth and diligence of mind to the gospel of the Lord Hamashiach Yahushai in these last days and times of edification and chastening. All right. So you see on the screen, it's just another agenda that has to take place. Concerning the agenda for these real estate companies that own buildings. Whether it's for industrial complexes, whether it's for residential, commercial, all that stuff. They all have a goal. Their goal is to amass as much power and let me say financial influence. All right, and that's what it is. When the law in the books favors them to do as they please, they can always plug in a loophole to their advantage. And when they say they want to evict, they got to evict. It doesn't matter if you're behind in rent or you're current, already paid in advance. When they decide they're no longer in the business, they're no longer in the business. They could decide to tear down the building if they want to. And hey, that's what happens. And the Lord already know that our people is gonna be exposed to abuse. This is just part of the curses that you have to be aware of, man. So you could put in all the effort you want, but the Lord will make certain that you see the negative aspects of your journey in captivity. You have to see it. You can't turn a blind eye to the chaos, the pain, and the confusion here in Babylon, all right, aka America. So our people, the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, they've been drinking of this cup of oppression, and it's going to pass into the hands of our enemies too, and these Edomites and these heathen that live in all these affluent neighborhoods, affluent zip codes, they're feeling the pinch too, you know. Domestic violence among them is something to take note of. Suicides among them. The elderly have no confidence about the provisions that have been set aside for them to live out the rest of their golden years. So it's nothing but bitterness, man. It's called America for a reason. Bitterness. So I'll get a quick precept from the book of Sirach. Alright, from the book of Sirach, I'm going to get a quick precept. It's going to be from the book of Sirach. Just keep saying the book of Sirach. Just get straight to the point. Chapter 29. Verse 21 to 24. It says, the chief thing for life is water and bread and clothing and a house to cover shame. That's the basic necessity. That's the template for living on earth. You need to have those resources: water, plants from the food, clothing, and a house to cover shame. The Lord set the template, so you have to perform actions to have those in place. Even the elites know that, and they abuse it. They pollute the water, they pollute the land, they pollute the air, and the clothing is all jacked up. And the laws on the books permits, the taxation of property, Because every year, you hear about people that pay property taxes. Yeah, just imagine if you don't pay it, it goes up. You know, you know, and then people lose their homes. You hear about people losing their homes because they fell behind on the water bill, and the government put a lien on the home, and then the home gets sold for pennies on the dollar, and the person ends up being selected for eviction. Yeah, so that's how messed up it is. So I can gotta be aware, man. If you own a home, a house, they just keep that clear and specific. If you own a house, make sure you take care of your water bill, your electric bill, your real estate taxes, and all that stuff, man. Because things happen, man. Search the court records, man, just to make sure you don't have anything pending. You know, if you get a chance, you could do a credit check. You know, do a background check, man, because people do crazy stuff, man. They steal people's identities, end up using your number for fraudulent transactions, and then you become a victim. All right, your debit card information, your credit card information, it's up there in these financial institutions, and it's available for these digital criminals to take advantage of it. Once they breach their system, that's it. Folks will be trying your accounts with different PIN numbers. Different pins. You know, just to get access to the funds. So you just know that you gotta protect yourself, man. It's no joke. Even the government knows exactly when they're using your information. They know exactly where your information was used. They know the time, they know the location. They even know the people that are doing it, but they just pretend like it's not really happening. Yeah, so that's what happens. They allow their so-called buddies that own these financial corporations to capitalize on people's misfortune. People's victimhood. Yeah, so you just don't understand, man. You gotta be careful. Then verse 22, Surah 29:22 says, "Better is the life of a poor man in a mean cottage than delicate fare in another man's house." So it's always good to own your own stuff. It's very good for those brothers that own their own property. It's a good thing. Get sigh of relief, but you have to be on top of things. But when you have to share, you basically have more restrictions that you have to be aware of. Just imagine going from couch to couch, from one apartment to another apartment. It's tiresome. So you know what it means to have something simple, something basic to keep you grounded. Keep you stable until the Lord gives you the opportunity to get more shekels and build up a little hedge. All right. So verse 23 says, "But be it little or much, hold thee contented, that thou hear not the reproach of thy house." So that's the issue. So you have to know how to keep the balance. Keep the balance. You know how to focus. Don't stretch yourself. If you know you can make 100K without a headache of it, you tried out the strategy and the plan, hey, go ahead and do it. Be a hedge for the brotherhood. All right. So that's something you also have to consider. Don't take unnecessary risks. All right. Do your research. They always say in the world, look before you leap. Yeah. So be a prudent man. Proverbs chapter 22 verse 3. I got that precept written on my heart, man. Prudent man looketh well to his going, but a simple pass on and not punish. So just keep that in mind. It's necessary that you keep that spirit of prudence upon you. You can have a company called Prudential. Yeah, so they know what's their sign. The tip of a rock, the summit of a rock. right, of a mountain. Yeah, so verse 24 also says, For it is a miserable life to go from house to house, from where thou art a stranger, thou darest not open thy mouth. So that's something you have to be considerate about. And you know that we are approaching the times of Jacob's trouble. So you know that things will get messed up. You already know, you're already prepared spiritually for the chaos that's coming. Like when chaos, is in the air, what can you do? You just have to prepare yourself to face it head on. You roll with the punches. Second Ezra chapter 16. You read 73 and 74. This is what it says. Alright, it says, Then shall they be known who are my chosen. So you have to go through the fire. When you read the precepts before that, it talks about the chaos and the evictions and the violence and the famine. Yeah, and in those times, you're going to know exactly that the Lord is dealing with you. Second Ezra chapter 16, verse 73. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, all right, the elect, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. You are not going to avoid the chastening of the Lord. Remember that. The chastening of the Lord is to prepare you for these chaotic events that will be coming upon the earth. Yeah, because the elites are upset and they have to cause havoc. They have to test out their agenda with these different police agencies, whether it's predictive policing, using of what you call it, facial recognition, always telling people, what, you got to do this, you got to do that. Just constantly picking on the fears of these people, always tapping into people's insecurities, always feeding the fear, putting that spirit of fear, of irrelevance in the mind of the people. Yeah. So verse 74 says, Hear, O ye my beloved, said the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. So that's an assurance you have to be aware of. The Lord will put you through the fire, and then He's still going to make sure that you get through the fire with lessons learned and the reward. And a good point the Apostle Gabar made when I watched his lesson yesterday, talks about, there's a penalty. There's a penalty, for remaining in this truth, and it's a penalty for falling out of this truth. So remember that. Hey, fire and water, walk the straight path one at a time. Yeah, so that's what it is, So you have to decide, what reward. Is it about the penalty or is it about the reward? You have to make a choice. Yep. The goal. What is the goal? Yeah, so you just have to make a choice, man. Choose you exactly what is best at the end. All right. So remember, man, brothers are gonna have to get tighter in these days to help each other out. And we read the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 8 from 13 to 15. It says, For I mean not that all the men be eased and ye burdened. Alright? So that means that you as a servant of the Lord, there has to be a balance, alright? Alright? It's not about ignoring brothers. It's about making sure brothers contribute to the stability of the church, alright? Verse 14, But by an equality, that now at this time your abundance may be a supply for their wants, that their abundance may be a supply for your wants, that there may be equality. So that's something about this ministry. Brothers have their moments when the Lord grants them extra resources. That's something they can always pass on to brothers that don't have much or don't have enough. All right. And when the cycle comes around, one hand washes the other hand. That's all it is. One brother pulls up the next brother. Two brothers pull up two more brothers, and then you have four, and then four pull up four more brothers, and that becomes eight. So just imagine that, just doubling and compounding. That's how the church gets strong. From 1 to 2, from 2 to 4, from 4 to 8, 8 to 16. That's how it goes over and over and over. So remember, man, it's easy. Serving the Lord. You already know the doctrine. You know exactly what's expected of you. It's just that your flesh becomes how do you say it, an impediment. Comes with that spirit of complaints and murmuring. All right, that spirit of murmuring with our people is something we all have to remember. The spirit of murmuring never left our nation, so we still have traces of it with us. Every man of the Lord still have that trace of murmuring, So as time goes on, that that trait will be purged out. That leaven will be purged out. So always remember, man, you're getting there. You're getting towards a complete cleanse, a complete purge. Verse 15, as it is written, he that had gathered much had nothing over, and he that had gathered little had no lack. So that's the brotherhood right there. That's the doctrine of faith, that the Lord will supply all your needs according to his abundance in the Lord Hamashiach Yahushai by Shema Kadash. And the Lord also talked about taking care of his ministry. Okay, you read that in the book of Malachi chapter 3 verse 10 says, bring ye all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be meat in mine house, and prove me now herewith. So you have to support the ministry. You have to support the apostles. You give according to your spirit. If you don't have the opportunity to give, just say a prayer. Pray, oh Lord, continue to strengthen them, and pray, oh Lord, continue to boost their faith. All right. So whether you get a lot today and little tomorrow, just pray that the Lord keeps you in this ministry. That's the most important thing that you could ever ask for. All right, not financial gain. That's just a byproduct of you serving the Lord. All right. So whether the Lord gives you an exorbitant amount or little or nothing, your faith still has to grow. Just remember that it's your faith that matters the most. All right. That's more precious than gold. All right. And then it says, if, all right, it says, and prove me now herewith, said the Lord of hosts, if I will not open the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing, that there shall not be room enough to receive it. So it's a beautiful thing, man, to know that the Lord will allow us to go through his chastening. The Lord has to chasten us so that we can be ready for service. All right. When you want to get to the next level, there's a challenge you have to go through. There's a combine, and that's a requirement in this ministry. You already went from a novice to a babe, in this ministry, and then you getting through the ranks, and you know that the Lord is not ignorant. The Lord is not turning a blind eye to your struggles, to your concerns. He knows exactly what you need. He knows the lessons that you would like to look into, and work on, and share with the people. So as long as you keep yourself on that straight and narrow path, you know that your reward in heaven, your reward of salvation is assured. All right. So you're getting closer and closer and closer to perfection in this ministry. You're getting closer to the revelation of who you will be in those days. All right. Who you will be revealed to be, the chosen of the Lord. All right. It's only in the time of adversity you will know who has the hedge of the Lord Yahweh Shem Avshai Bashim Kwakadash around him. All right. So remember that, man. Don't let that spirit of murmuring overwhelm you. Okay. It's gonna be tough, but you have to be tougher than that. Okay. So we go to the book of Psalms, chapter 33. This is what it says. All right. 18 and 19 says, Behold, the eye of the Lord is upon them that fear him, upon them that hope in his mercy. So that's something you have to keep yourself focused on. The fear of the Lord. All right. Verse 19, to deliver his soul from death. All right. To deliver their soul from death. So whatever threatening circumstances that comes upon a city, upon a location you find yourself in, always know the Lord will preserve your life. All right. According to the faith that you have. Remember that, man. You're not going to die, like these 2/3 without hope in the Lord. All right. And then it says, and to keep them alive in famine. So the elect of the Lord would have to deal with difficulties. The Lord said there will not be no famine. He didn't say that. You said you'll be preserved alive. You just have to go through it. Okay? So the fear of the Lord is a treasure that you need to tap into. And then verse 20 says, Our soul waited for the Lord. He is our help and our shield. So you have to understand that you've been given an opportunity to exercise your fear and your faith in the Lord. All right? So you have to take advantage of that opportunity to know that the Lord is not going to leave you helpless. All right? He's going to give you the mindset, that spiritual mindset to endure the ridicule, the frustration, the attacks, the demise of the people around you. You just have to learn to cope with it. The Lord has already told you He's going to preserve you. So whether the heathen, the dragon lays hands on you, that's not really the point. The point is the Lord said He's going to preserve you. So just stick with the assurance of the Lord, man. It's that simple. And I'll go to the book of Job, chapter 5. The whole chapter is good. You read the whole chapter, it helps you with your spiritual foundation. It helps you to focus on what you have to go through to receive salvation. It tells you what you're going to experience. So you already have the heads up. You've been briefed before the event, happens in your vicinity. So you already know what you have to do. You're getting yourself in order, you're getting your house in order, and you have no opportunity to turn back, because there is no turning back in this ministry. You can't be murmuring and be clamoring for the trinkets of Egypt. The Lord is about to take out Egypt, and you already know that. So why do you want to hold on to a lost cause? You always have to bet on the winning horse, all right, the white horse. Read Revelation chapter 6. Yeah. So remember that, man. The Lord Yahweh is coming to bring war upon the earth, and He already has people He's going to spare. He has to spare His elect, and that's the vibration that you want. You always bet on the winning horse. You pick out what is best for you. All right, so you don't get yourself tied up. Yeah, so you can watch the video. I don't want to play it and waste time. It just shows you how miserable these people are, man. When they hear about the notice for eviction, they have till October, the end of October, to vacate. All right. So this property is in a prime location across the bay, close minutes from the bay. All right. So you could tell that's an expensive location to uh, to reside in. All right. The owner of the property, the management company, also they're all on the same page. They want to renovate and increase the rent. So, do you think these people currently living in there will be able to afford it? I don't think so. Yeah. So whatever happens, man, it's in the Lord's hands. The Lord has already said He's gonna keep thee alive in the times of famine and pestilences. So let's see. Read from the book of Job, chapter 5, and let's see what. Let's see what 19 to 23 mentions. All right, what 19 to 20 verses 19 to 23 highlights. It says, "He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yea, in 7 shall no evil touch thee." Yeah, so you're gonna have to make it, through the chaos, the commotion, the civil war, the elevated level of crimes, all right, the persecution that's coming for the elect, the trial of your faith, the the pestilences and all that stuff. You have to go through that. You have to deal with it. All right. Verse 20 says, "In famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword." Yeah, so all those chaotic events you see in third world countries, Congo, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Nigeria, Burundi, Rwanda, Syria, Afghanistan, even natural disasters. Hey, you gotta go through that adventure. You're gonna be one of the actors in this adventure, man. So just remember that, you have to deal with it. Verse 21 says, "Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue." All right. So whatever accusations they bring against you, it's not gonna phase your faith. It's not gonna dampen your spirit. All right. The Lord says He's gonna give you a mouth that your adversary will not be able to gainsay nor resist. You won't have to worry about how you're gonna respond. You won't be worried about how they're gonna attack you. You just know that it shall be well with thee. Neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. So you already have that spirit. That's the Holy Spirit. That's the Holy Spirit right there, man. You are not afraid about what's gonna happen. So you know that your faith has already been secured. Verse 22, "At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth." So you're going to go through the demise of others. If you're going through the jungle, going through a forest, you see these wild, dangerous animals, you're not going to be scared. The Lord is going to keep His spirit upon you, just like Daniel was in the den, the den of lions. Hey, the angels of the Lord, protected him. So it just shows you how great the mercy of the Lord is. All right. Verse 23 says, "Thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee." Yeah. So you're gonna know how to navigate in the wilderness as you are avoiding, these tumultuous events, incidents, and all these crazy locations. You're gonna have dreams, let me say, visions about you going through the eye of the needle. So you know that you can't run away, from your challenges. The Lord has to prove you. You have to go through that fire, just like we read in the book of Second Ezra, chapter 16, 73, and 74. The Lord has to make sure that you learn from your experience. Just like the book of Eli, yeah, it's gonna be your name in there too. So that's the point that I can remember. People are gonna be crying, because of their situation, man. They're gonna be upset. They're gonna be sad. They're gonna be brokenhearted. But the Lord said, in your case, you will be taken care of. When you read Isaiah chapter 65, it tells you that you'll be protected. You know, so don't worry about food and clothing. You know, don't worry about your living situation. The Lord Yahushua will take care of it. Don't worry about it. Yahushua already mentioned that to you. So just have faith, man. Just focus on the scriptures. Be prudent with your resources, and the Lord will lift you up, man. When you think you're about to hit rock bottom and sink, the Lord will lift you up. So that's what it is in this ministry, man. The Lord will make sure that you know what you're dealing with, and how to prepare yourself to deal with it, and how you're gonna come out of it. So that was the point that I came. Baratazar, you've been edified, and hey, I wish this lesson was short, but hey, you can't put a lead on the Spirit. You just have to let the Spirit flow. So Baratazar, just keep your eyes open, pay attention to what's going on, and hey, be prudent in these last days. Shalom.